pay attention to that.
Sorry.
Alright.
It's good information.
Imagine living in an area where every time you turn on your faucet, fire comes out instead of water. What if I told you that there's places in the US that this is actual reality and not just a scary story? What might be the cause of this phenomenon, you might ask? Well, it all starts with an oil extracting process called hydraulic fracking that not only pollutes scores of communities' drinking water, but also has everlasting environmental effects that can never be reversed. I have always been really fascinated with the effects of hydraulic fracking and have done many research projects on this topic. I've also taken an environmental science class that helped introduce me and inform me to this topic. My experience with this topic makes me more than qualified to persuade you to contest the use of hydraulic fracking and to use alternative energy methods that could help reduce the use of oil. Fracking does more to our planet than one may think. The hydraulic fracking process causes methane leaks to promote global warming, contaminates water, and also induces earthquakes where earthquakes usually don't happen. Not to mention that the chemicals used to extract oil are extremely toxic. I think it is important for people to know how and where they acquire the gas we use and what the consequences are for extracting this gas. We should ultimately contest the use of hydraulic fracking, and we should think of alternative energy methods that we could use to replace it. The reasons include air pollution, water pollution, and health issues. The extraction of natural gas allows for a significant amount of methane to be released into our atmosphere. According to Joe Hoffman, author of Potential Health and Environmental Effects of Hydrofracking, in the Williston Basin, Montana, an estimated 4% of the methane produced by these gas extracting wells are released into the atmosphere. Methane is the main component of natural gas and is 25 times more potent in trapping in heat than carbon dioxide. The emissions produced from these wells are estimated to about 2 million cars releasing carbon dioxide. But how does all this methane escape? Methane escapes simply due to the fact that gas wells are prone to leaks and aren't always detected immediately. The National Academy of Sciences reported that up to 40% of the oil and gas wells may end up leaking in their lifetime. Allowing this much methane to escape can have some devastating effects to our global climate. Trapping heat in our atmosphere disturbs many animal species to the point where they become extinct. Can allow for mosquito-spread diseases such as malaria to spread further north, and also rises the global water level to the point where it's inevitable that many cities in the coastal regions will be underwater at some point in time. But luckily, it isn't too late to change our ways. These findings make it clear that oil and gas companies need to be regulated to reduce leaking incidences, and when they happen, they need to be fined. Another easy solution to this problem is to not frack at all. No fracking means no gas leaks. Investing in cleaner alternative energy sources such as wind turbines and solar power can allow for these occurrences to be obsolete. As if fracking influence on global warming wasn't bad enough, the fracking industry is tainting many citizens' water supply. Each fracking well produces millions of gallons of toxic fluid containing not only added chemicals, but also radioactive material naturally found in the ground. Oil companies blast millions of gallons of water chemical mixture into the ground, creating fissures that will allow for oil to be extracted by the oil companies later. It can take up to 7 million gallons of water chemical mixture to create a single well, with 30% of the water being lost forever. This can create a drought among underlying communities and also taints their water supply. Sometimes when the fissures are created by the water chemical mixture, they breach the community's drinking water, causing chemicals to seep into their water supply. When this happens, groundwater becomes not only toxic, but also explosive. As you can see, these chemicals are capable of turning normal faucets into flammable ones. Sometimes oil companies could do something oil companies could do to reduce the risks of contaminating water is to first survey the ground to find out if they could potentially pollute surrounding groundwater, and also don't frack where people could potentially drink this water, because contaminated water can come with some serious health consequences. The chemicals used in the hydraulic fracking processes are highly toxic. When humans are exposed to them, they can cause serious health issues. A 2011 article in the Journal of Human and Ecological Risk Assessment compiled a list of 632 chemicals identified from drilling operations throughout the U.S. Sadly, 25% of these chemicals have cancer-causing agents, while 37% of the chemicals disrupt the endocrine system, disrupting hormones in the body. Anyone who lives near a hydraulic fracking operation has a high risk of being exposed to these chemicals. As I talked about earlier, it is entirely possible for these chemicals to seep into your drinking water, which is just one potential way that you would be able to be exposed to these chemicals. When you're exposed to these toxic substances, it comes with health issues such as male and female infertility, birth defects in children, and also the risk of developing cancer. By not fracking in places near humans' populations, you greatly reduce the risk of someone potentially drinking and getting sick from the contaminated water. Contesting the use of hydraulic fracking instead of using alternative energy methods can not only save our planet, but save countless number of lives. Because of methane leaks causing global warming, chemicals contaminating groundwater, and health consequences in humans, fracking should be stopped. Everyone listening should donate money to clean energy institutes such as the clean energy groups. Donating to organizations such as these allow for continuous improvement in renewable energy resources. And also, and maybe sometime in the near future, we can make using oil for fuel obsolete. But first, we all gotta do our part.